Happy Friday, everybody. John Dowling, author of Service by the Boxes. If you're a service manager, or if you have been a service manager at some point in your career, I don't know if you've ever played the game, Let's Make a Deal. And for those of you who do not know, Let's Make a Deal is, that's when you repaired a customer's machine and you call them to get their approval. You've already got $5,000 tied up into the repair and you've never gotten approval to do the repair. The customer said, just fix it. And the reason it's called Let's Make a Deal is because when you call them and say, hey, the repair bill is $5,000, we don't know if they're going to agree to that or not. And if they say, yeah, go ahead and do it, then great, we're good to go. But majority of the times they're going to say $5,000 for what? And then we have to start explaining the repair and justifying the $5,000. But they still may not see the $5,000 value for the repair. And so now you start negotiating. Let's make a deal. Maybe they think it's worth $2,000. You got $5,000 in it. And then you've got to meet somewhere in the middle. When you play Let's Make a Deal, it's a lose-lose. Even if you get the customer to pay the full bill, you've lost trust with the customer. And to maintain trust and credibility with the customer, say you cut the bill to $4,000 or $2,000, you still lose because you just lost multiple $1,000s of revenue, which affects your bottom line, your tech recovery, tech efficiency, billing efficiency. It's all negatively affected when you don't get an estimate approved before you start the repair. So the best way and the only way to prevent you from playing Let's Make a Deal is to estimate the whole job and get pre-approval before you start on the repairs. But even when you do an estimate, sometimes the customer wants to play Let's Make a Deal at that point as well. But we know that. So let's be wiser. Let's be wise. Let's be prudent. Let's act like this isn't our first year as a service manager. And so we need to prepare for that. And the best way to prepare for that starts with the machine inspection. And so we should always estimate the whole job. Any failure, any issue that we find with the customer's machine should be estimated. And this is the reason why. So in my book, Service by the Boxes, on page 30, on the service to be estimated chapter, I have this example of a piece of machinery needing a starter. The service manager estimates the starter, for $1,500, but then the customer says that's too much. I can't afford to pay $1,500 for a starter. And in the book, I'll talk about the first thing the service manager is going to do is take off freight for parts, and then he's going to cut the shop supplies. So if you have a parts freight issue and a shop supplies issue, we're probably not estimating jobs. Well, then once the service manager's cut those, the only thing he has left to cut is the labor and parts pricing, which negatively affects both departments and your profitability. But if we would have estimated the whole job, so in my book, we had the example of not only did we estimate the starter, but a seat replacement, a PM service, and repairing a steering cylinder. So when you present an estimate to the customer and they come back saying that that's too much money, I can't afford that. So in the book example, we went from a $1,500 repair to a $3,500 repair. Well, at this point, we can say, okay, let's work together on this, Mr. Customer or Mrs. Customer, and let's see what we can do to get this estimate down. Well, the easy thing is to cut the seat. We can save you $500 if we don't replace the seat. That can wait. And the PM service, it's not due for another 100 hours. So if you don't mind bringing me your machine back in 100 hours, or if you don't mind doing it yourself, you can save, another $550 there. So at that point, we earn credibility and trust with the customer. We reduce their cost on the estimate. But as a dealership, we haven't lost any profitability. We haven't lost anything. And at that point, it's a win-win. And that's how you make money, by estimating the whole job. Have a great Labor Day weekend. Take your family to church on Sunday, and see you next week.